I am James Corden, alongside Ben Winston and 5 of our team members who help us make Carpool Karaoke for the Late Late Show. Ask me anything. Ask us anything. Actor/entertainer. Kate, has James ever had a near accident during a shoot? No near accidents. We always drive very slow. Please drive faster. Congratulations, you were just gilded by Jean's virtual Reddit gold. Do you do requests? Like, requests of songs? Or for guests? I request that James stops being an asshole. Is there a banned song list? No list of banned songs. How about Asshole by Dennis Leary? Have you ever considered being funny or likable? My brother's girlfriend played one of your videos on my YouTube account and now it keeps recommending more of them to me. Do you know how to get it to stop doing that? Is there any chance of bringing back Craig Ferguson instead? Hey James. Why are you classed as a comedian when you're not funny? James, big fan. Well, not really, I think you're a cunt. Couple questions. 1. How well do you sleep at night knowing that with each and every passing year, you are another step closer to your inevitable demise, career and your own mortality? 2. When's the last time you've seen your dick? 3. I've heard you're an asshole. I think you're a giant baby man. Do you want a bottle, baby man? Can I spank your bum like a doctor, James Corden baby man? I look forward to your response. Ciao. Why is it the Americans lap this shit up, while the Brits would find it uber cringe? Uber cringe would be a better name for the show. Marry, fuck, kill. Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Carr. Who do you choose? LDK about fucking and killing, but you definitely marry Carr. He'll get your taxes squared away for you, and that's a trait everyone should look for in a spouse. What does it feel like following Colbert? Do you think one day you might be a real comedian too? Is it true James Corden acts like a massive bell end to anyone who is not a celebrity? Can you please stay in the States and not come back to the UK? I'm fine with him here as long as Piers total fucking cunt Morgan stays in the UK. Why are you, James, such a deeply unpleasant person? Did your parents raise you that way? Are you unfamiliar as to what an AMA is? I'll only ask because you haven't answered a single question. Has any guest been completely different than what you expected of them? Who was the most exciting to work with? When you're driving around, have you ever gotten close to being in an accident because you were distracted? No near accidents, but the time we were pulled over by police in the Adam Levine carpool was completely real. Other than that, not really. It's all pretty controlled out there. James. Hey, James, you missed a couple questions up top. We generally film anywhere between 2 to 3 hours, so yes, a lot gets left out. We boil it down to roughly. Do you leave out the parts where James is being an asshole? Everything I like has made it onto Carpool Karaoke Lauren. Then why is James in it at all? How many cameras are in the car during Carpool Karaoke? GoPros +2 filming the outside of the car. Glenn. When those cameras are off, is James Corden an asshole? Since I do not know the story about Carpool Karaoke, how did it get started? Who started it? And what was the guest that made the idea take off? The fat cunt ripped the idea off someone else. James, I read this Reddit thread that says that you are an asshole who treats people like shit. Is that true or false? And if true, are you doing anything to correct this? This is gonna be a short-lived AMA. How does it feel to see that the 10 most upvoted questions are all about James being a douchebag? That's not true. I'm like 25 deep now. I've been scrolling for 3 hours now and I can't see an end to it. Why does everyone say you're an asshole and rude in real life, James? Is it true you're a raging cunt in real life? Hey James. You won't remember me, but me and my friends sat at a table next to you and Harry Styles plus some others in Manchurian Legends in London's Chinatown about 6 years ago. We didn't bother you, but you were a massively entitled cunt who yelled and treated the waitstaff like shit, and when one of my party politely suggested you calm down, you got really aggressive and threatening, in a chubby way, like a boozy panda. So my question is this: why did Harry seem so cool, while you were such a massive throbbing bellend? James, I haven't the faintest idea who you are really, but Reddit assured me you're an asshole. So as a professional asshole, are bidets worth it? Or is that some weird advertising craze going on where people talk about spraying their ass with water instead of toilet paper? My concern as a guy would be around spraying cold water on my balls. I think that'd suck. Anyway, as an asshole, what's your take on it? James, are you aware that everyone thinks you're a hack and a talentless asshat? Don't care about you being an asshole really, but this AMA taught me you're also a filthy anti-union scab. My question is, do you think anybody will care when your miserable career finally withers? Hey, just wanted to say thank you for taking the time to do this AMA for the Reddit community. I really don't know much about the work you do, and if it's anyone's fault, it's mine. I don't watch too much television, I mainly stream stuff. Anyways, on to the question. I've recently heard that you're an asshole in real life. Any truth to this? I don't know how to phrase this as a question, so I'll start with, did you know that if you actually acknowledge the claims you're not a nice person and tackle them head on, and talk on it from your point of view, it's way better for your PR than just ignoring them? Hi James, thanks for doing this AMA. I'm an aspiring comedian looking for some advice to make it big in the industry. You are a big source of inspiration for me, so it would mean very much me if you replied. Also, is it true that you are an asshole? Why do you treat fans like shit? The man treats his own body like a piece of shit rental car. Do you really expect him to treat others well? Well, this is going well, isn't it? James, did you realize you posted on r/LAMA instead of r/roastme? Anything? Okay. Every time an AskReddit post comes up asking about asshole celebrities, your name inevitably comes up. How do you respond to this? Are any of these anecdotes true? Are you only going to respond to questions that are directly asking about Carpool Karaoke? Why won't James answer any questions about big of an asshole he is? Sounds like something an asshole would do. Ever thought about coming back to the UK? And if so, what can we do to stop you? Build that wall. James, do you agree that Lesbian Vampire Killers is the most misogynistic film ever made? Do you think this is why you have been so successful in America? How is this attempt at advertising on Reddit going for you so far? Out of the hundreds of posts, only 24 comments/questions were answered, with James only answers 5. So my question is this, did you plan it out for this AMA to be a flop, or do you just not know how these things work? Follow up, do you not care about interacting with your audience, or are you content with train wrecks like this? Everyone thinks you are a big asshole. Is this true that you treat people unfairly and are intolerable to be around? James, how does it feel being only liked for Gavin and Stacey, a show where the best bits were clearly all Ruth Jones? To everyone, how come there's 7 of you and you only answered 3 questions? Was this for a bit on the show? Are you going to take lessons from this AMA and be a better person? James, is it true that you ate all the pies? So are you aware everyone hates you, or is this the first time you found out? How true are the stories that people say about James Corden being a huge jerk in person? Loved him in Doctor Who though. Hi James. What motivates you to be a complete and utter dickhead all of the time? Mr. Corden, Mr. Winston, Ms. Miller, Ms. Greenberg, Mr. Clements, Ms. Dowd, and Mr. Jarvis, I have a chunk of pork in my mouth and I'm not planning on chewing it or swallowing it. Do you have any idea if it's possible for my saliva to dissolve the chunk, and, if it is possible, can you say how long it will take for my saliva to dissolve the piece of pork? Is it really awkward over there, what with all these negative questions? Is this actually still live? James, have you managed to make it this far? I'll be honest, I'm not a fan. How does it feel knowing that no matter how much fame and money you have, you'll never be able to buy love? Haven't watched any of your US stuff. Are you just as intolerable and as unfunny as you were in the UK, or have you switched it up a bit? Why did your parents get shitty with Kermode when he gave you a bad review, and is that indicative of how coddled you are in general? Why do many British celebs seem to dislike you? Is it the good old, hate the ones that make it big showbiz trope? It's not just the British celebs. The rest of us are glad he is not on UK TV anymore. The Emoji Movie. Just. Why? Probably wanted a pool. Hi James the First. Have never met anyone who actually likes you. Have you ever met anyone who actually likes you? Keep up the good work. Is there at all? It looks like the other members of the team answering all the questions? If so, pretty lame. Enforces the asshole reputation. Do you ever get tired of that cartoonishly happy Disney persona you're putting on for your TV appearances? Why does it take so many of you to make such a piece of shit? How much will you not give a monkeys about these questions because you're an arrogant fuck nugget? Do you feel like you are gave enough credit for managing to make it in America with your severe unlikableness and apparent complete lack of comedic ability? James, are you really a huge asshole in real life like tons of people claim? What is it like being internationally known despite having half the talent of a disposable glove? I'm probably late and won't get answered, but I'll ask regardless. James, why are you such an unlikable cholesterol bastard, and can you please stay in USA so we in UK can begin to forget about you? How'd you rise to celebrity status in lieu of the fact you're completely talentless, and even my British friends don't know why you are famous? Thanks. Did you ruin Roger Rabbit on purpose because you're an asshole? Do people actually watch this shit? I mean seriously, is that fat fuck still doing that stupid car singing? What year is it? Also, loving this AMA. Looks like you're a total asshat. Thank you. One just thought he was a talentless hack that does that stupid car singing. Guess he's an asshole too. Have you always been an arsehole, or just since you got really famous in America? Who was your least favorite Carpool Karaoke guest, and why was it Mariah Carey? Do you have a protocol for car accidents? How big is your ego now? Never liked James in the few things I've seen him in, always felt kinda off. Guess I know why now. My question to the rest of the production team is, what is it like making content for CBS? I don't know much about the network, but I always thought they were in financial trouble because of the mountain of horrible greenlit ideas and the diminishing viewership of The Big Bang Theory, leading to its retirement. Is there ever a fear that your show will be on the chopping block? How often? Do you have to memorize the lyrics to every song by the artist in preparation for an episode? How long does it take you? Do you have a story where you had trouble memorizing some lyrics, or messed up the lyrics in front of the artist while filming an episode? Some you know straight away, and some there's an element of learning, so I listen often on my journey into work, and on my journey out. And if TM really struggling, I'll spend a night looking at lyrics. James. Answer the questions that matter. Asshole. This answer is hilarious. A bit before work, a bit after, and maybe in the evening. Are you crying, James? How often do the guests have songs that they will not perform in Carpool Karaoke for their own reasons? Talent is usually up for any songs James wants to do. Diana. Is that because James is an asshole in real life, like everyone says? Are carpools scripted for the guests? Or do the guest singers just go along with whatever you're saying? The guests do not receive any scripts, so nothing is scripted for them. Lauren. Who chooses the songs for a carpool, and how many are cut by the final product? The songs are chosen by the artist and by James. We record anywhere between 7 to 10 songs per carpool, and we usually end up with 5 or 6. Each song records between 3 to 5 minutes, and I edit them down to around 1 minute, depending on the song. This is one of my favorite parts of the process. I would also enjoy saving unsuspecting TV watchers from having to watch the whole thing. Thank you for your service. Would you consider doing Onine a pedicab? Maybe in Central Park? I'm down for anything that's based in New York. Lauren. Isn't James too heavy to ride one? Do you any of you ever get nervous about meeting or talking to any of the celebrities that have been on Carpool Karaoke? I've not really been nervous because of the person. I've been nervous in the hope that it can be as good as I think it can be, but never really nervous about the actual doing of it. James. James, answer the questions about being a jerk. Not answering the top questions, about being an asshole, is an asshole move. James. Who thought of the idea of Carpool Karaoke? Why do you think that it became such a big hit? Well, that would be Robert Llewellyn, and then this fat twat and his team stole the idea. Hi James. My question for you is, what is your favorite classic rock song to sing along to whenever it plays on the radio? I would say Bohemian Rhapsody. James. You've ruined that song. You total arse. This is an answer of someone who just says things he think people want to hear. Which guest has surprised you by being far more entertaining than you initially imagined? I had no idea Celine Dion was as entertaining as she is. I thought she would be quite a serious person, a real megastar who was sort of cut off. And she was an absolute riot. She was so funny and disarmingly honest. She's probably the most surprising guest we've ever had. As for someone else that's come on the show, Tom Cruise is one of my favorite guests of all time. In the same way, you might expect him to be a bit cut off or distant, but he couldn't be more lovely, friendly, or fun, or up for adventure. He's an incredibly impressive man and a lovely guy. Ben. Are you actually driving when you're filming? Seems rather dangerous. Oftentimes the celebrities are shocked to turn up and find out that James does actually drive them around. We drive really slowly. Los Angeles motorists on the street around us aren't always our biggest fans, and try to avoid making left-hand turns wherever possible so that we can keep the driving as simple as possible for James. Kate. Don't worry about his driving, he's English. We don't just cut our driving licenses out of cereal boxes back home. Do you have a favorite moment from filming the Celine Dion Carpool Karaoke that you can share with us? The ending, which might be the biggest ending we've had on a Carpool Karaoke ever. We've kept it a secret and you'll see it tonight. James. Oh wow, I'm so excited to see it then. I'm sure it'll be amazing. Thanks for answering. Shill account. Well done James's PR team. The ending, which might be the biggest ending we've had on a Carpool Karaoke ever. We've kept it a secret and you'll see it tonight. You'll see it tonight. Nah. What are the odds of a crazy Weird Al carpool with some of the artists he parodies? Would be fun to see his parodies sung by the original artists. We did an episode with Weird Al and the Lonely Island for our Apple Carpool Karaoke series. Check it out. Diana, that didn't answer the question, you fucking moron. Love how even when you answer the question you still don't actually answer the question. LOL. It's like having Siri answer these questions. What's your favorite food? Everything. That's why he's such a fat cunt. Why body shame mock him for other stuff, but that's too toxic. Edit. I don't defend James Corden if what everyone said is true. Fuck him out. Just like body shaming seems a bit toxic unless he's done it himself. If he's body shamed someone, fuck him. Have you ever gotten into a car accident while filming Carpool Karaoke? If not, can you try harder? Has any guest been completely different than what you expected of them? Who was the most exciting to work with? When you're driving around, have you ever gotten close to being in an accident because you were distracted? Paul McCartney was the most exciting person I've worked with. He was so sweet to all the fans he met along the way, and took the time to say hi and take pictures with people. Lauren. And that was the complete opposite to James Corden, right? Does James Corden say trans rights? Hey James, why do you look like that?